You guys nervous? All right, cool. Well, we are back. Double Fries No Slaw in partnership with Rising Spear. I appreciate them for helping us put this on. We are rewatching FSU versus Alabama as we get underway here. I've trimmed some of the game down, so if you want to rewatch the whole thing, I'm sorry about that. But we've trimmed this thing down so that it would fit into an hour, and we would appreciate you guys sharing this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. We're going to do a few of these, not only with the softball team, but with some other sports as well. But Sydney, Sherrill, Kaley Mudge, Kathryn Sandercock, and Devyn Flaherty. Ladies, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Super excited.
You bet. That's always a fun question to ask when there's like 4 people at once, and it's like, oh, who answers and who does this? So 3 of you have been on the podcast. Kat, you haven't. And so welcome. Thank you for hanging out. I told you guys this. I want to tell everybody else that's watching and hanging out and listening as well. We want to keep this as organic as possible. I don't want to just interview you guys the whole time. We've done that before. Kat, we'll get you on this year and we'll interview you and we'll grill you, asking about chicken tenders and everything else. But I want this to be really fun. I want this to just be like us watching the game together. And mostly, I want to get out of the way as much as I can. Mostly you guys kind of reminisce on the game and talk about it, what you remember, what you would have changed, what you liked. Obviously, the fact that we went on the road and won a top 5 game against an SEC opponent. But as we get underway, what are you guys doing this summer? Sydney, we'll just kind of go in the order that we're on the screen. Sydney, you can start us off. Then Kaley, then Kat, then Deb. But what you guys got going on?
Yeah, so I leave Sunday to go play with Athletes Unlimited in Chicago. I'm super excited to do that. And then that ends at the end of August, and I will fly straight from there to Grand Canyon University, where I'm going to be the volunteer coach and basically coach defense and a little bit of hitting, and then I'll live out in Phoenix for a year. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. Kaley, what you got going on?
I've actually been up here in Tallahassee all summer for class, so I've gotten to work out and use the facilities and be here for class. I got to take a week break and I got to play some softball in Canada, and I got to see Kocha and Raptor and Kat and my other teammate Allie. So that was a lot of fun, but mostly just been laying low here in Tallahassee for summer.
Kat, you've been all over, and you're going to be all over. You're traveling all over the place. Tell us a little about what you got going on.
Yeah, I'm currently in Tallahassee, but I did go home for a little bit, and I was also out in Canada, same time as Mudge. We got to play against each other, which was cool, and got to play against Kocha and Raph in the Canada Cup, which was really fun. And yeah, now I'm back in Tallahassee doing some training, and then I head to Japan at the end of the month to play with Team USA again. So I'm really excited.
Right. I'm jealous of all of your travels and stuff because, I'm washed and sit at home and, chase kids around. But, we'll talk to Dev in a second. I've got Dev visiting the, Lakers training facility and flexing on everybody with the championship trophies. Japan, huh? That's pretty outrageous and pretty cool.
Yeah, softball is huge over there. They have a really, really great league. So I'm really excited. I'm excited just to see all the stadiums, and the fan base is really big. So it'll be an experience for sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Dev, I kind of stole some of your thunder, but you just got back from LA. Like I said, I was so jealous when you're posting pictures from literally the Larry O'Brien trophy over there in LA. But talk to us a little bit about your summer, what you're up to, and we'll talk about this game a little bit.
Yeah, I am also laying low. Decided to take this summer off, so there's a lot of my teammates playing here in the summer league, which I've played in the last 2 years, so I've got to hang out with them a lot and watch them play. And then just doing a little bit of traveling. My sister played beach volleyball out in California this past weekend, and we have family out there. So we went out there, got to visit the Lakers training facility, which was really cool. My cousin just made the new Lakers documentary that's coming out, so we got to visit that and get a little insight to that. That was awesome. And then just laying low. I'm probably gonna go see Sid next few weeks in Chicago, and Danielle too will be there, and I'll head back to Tallahassee pretty early too. I can't wait to get back.
Awesome. Well, we wanted to do this. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to do this. I also appreciate Rising Spear for helping us put this on. I'll put a link here in the comments. There's also a link in the description where you guys can support the softball team through Rising Spear's efforts. You can donate, and 100% of your donations go directly to the players. They don't take anything out, no fees or anything. They kind of process all of that on their own. No administrative fees. They take care of all of it and take care of the team. So appreciate them and appreciate you guys for hanging out. All right, a top 5 matchup on the road. Wanted to talk through this first inning because not a lot went well for us in the top here. But what goes through your mind? Like, what are your kind of memories of this? We had just finished up, I believe, the Clearwater tournament, and then had a few games in Tallahassee, and then get ranked second, and immediately a top 5 matchup on the road. Whoever wants to take can go with it. I mean, I don't really care what order we go in here, but thoughts on a matchup like this on the road? You're the ranked higher team, but Alabama's no slouch, right?
Yeah, I think it was the very end of a road trip too. So I remember everybody was pretty tired, and we do this kind of training thing in the fall called the program. And I remember right before this game, we watched a video kind of like reminding us at the time of our time at the program. So I think that maybe hyped us up a little bit, but I remember being super hyped to play this game. We were really excited.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about just like they were so good at the time and we were playing really well. And at one point, before we had lost and before they had lost, we were like, oh my God, are we going to match up like both the undefeated, 2 undefeated teams? And then, we lost and they lost. But it was really, really exciting, I think, like Kat said.
Yeah, I really liked the atmosphere as well. I think when you come into such a big park like this, you're always curious to see how their fans react. And I think it was super cool because all their fans were just there for softball and to support Alabama, but they weren't like mean towards us. Like we've played in different places where the fans like to chirp and bark, and it was just a super cool atmosphere that they were rooting so hard for Bama, but not rooting against us as well. So I love the atmosphere. Super respectable place to play.
I got to follow up there. Where is a tough place to play? Where they maybe chirp at you and bark a little? Like where is a kind of tough place to play?
LSU was pretty hard. For supers, they were super loud.
Really chirpy.
Yeah. So
Oklahoma and Oklahoma City was they were a little mean, but that was such a hype game.
Yeah.
So playing Alabama, going on the road for this matchup, obviously had played them twice at the end of and this is, beginning of the year, or, mid to early part of the year, but had just played them twice. And I don't know if there are Vegas odds out there and stuff, but you would have thought that they would have won one of those 2 games. Not you guys, but like just the average person would have thought like, okay, well, Bama will take care of business and make the final series. I know you mentioned being tired at the end of a road trip and stuff. Is it a little easier to get up for this game than it is the second game of a team that you're just expected to walk all over? It's got to be a little bit easier to get up for this one though, right?
Yeah, we definitely get hyped for the big ones. We were all really excited.
How do you temper that? We'll see here in a minute when we get to the bottom of the first. It didn't start out super well, right? We didn't have we weren't on our game to start it. How do you avoid getting too overhyped when you go into a big game?
I'll take this one. I would just say our preparation for games like this allows us, like we know she's a great pitcher and we're going to get multiple at-bats. So just trying to stick to our plan, and if we don't get her the first time, we know we're going to see her again. So I think just playing our game and like sticking to our process is really what we try to focus on. And yeah, we just definitely didn't start out very well, but I think that second time around, even the commentators talk about it a lot, just our lineup making adjustments and putting more barrels on balls.
I think too, there's like some recent, like just very interesting history with us in Alabama, which makes it an even like crazier game. Like my freshman year, Mudge's freshman year, Danny's like grand slam in like the 8th inning off Fouts, like that is still to this day one of the most amazing memories I have in this uniform. And then at the World Series, like you said, like no one expected us to win those games. And honestly, because that first game against Bama was the first one after playing at 2 a.m. I remember like I was in the box and I was like at second base and I like had to remind myself that like I was in a softball game. Like that's how tired I was. Like it was the craziest game I think I've ever played just from like a mental standpoint. And we got it done that game and we were able to come back and actually be there for the second game. Like I literally feel like we weren't even there for the first game. Like we were just like zombies. So it's just interesting. Like all favors were on them, and that I think there was a poll before that game. Like it was like Alabama or Florida State, and it was like 70% Alabama. And I think after it's just really cool to see like moments like that. And Alabama's always fun to play. So this was a super cool atmosphere, like Mudge said.
I have a follow up there. You talked about the poll that got posted. I know that you guys are on social media, see it. Like that's just part of our daily lives now, right? I talked with, I think, Liz after beating LSU last year. And the commentators, like their favorite thing to say, again, I know you guys are watching the games, or I'm sorry, playing the game and we're watching. Their favorite thing to say was like, after we won that first game, was like, well, but the team that wins the first game of the series like always loses. And they probably said that like 800 times, like during the broadcast. And we're like, so of course, all the FSU fans, as wholesome as we are, didn't remind them of that when she hit the walk-off. But, or I'm sorry, it was Kirsten. But yeah, like, how is it hard to tune out the noise when you see the poll that says everybody's going to win? Does that motivate you more? Do you just kind of like ignore it and let it roll off your back? But talk to us about that. Kat, you go first, and then we'll roll around here.
Yeah, I mean, they always bring stuff up like that. Like, they love the drama. They live for the drama. But I don't know. I mean, I think it fires us up a little bit. We try to tune all of it out, but I think that we're really good at, like, being the underdogs. And I feel like when we're kind of doubted is when we, like, show up the most. So, I don't know. I think it hypes us up a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think we can use it as like motivation as well. But Coach has talked to us a lot, especially in the past couple of years, about like focusing on like just us and like whoever's in our circle is like what matters, because it's so great that the sport of softball is growing and that we're getting so many people to watch and so many people to share their opinions on social media. But with that comes a lot of negativity as well. And so Coach has done a really good job like preparing us for that, so that when we come to season, like we remember the only thing that matters is us, and whoever's in our arena is the only opinions that matter. So definitely done a good job like teaching us that as the sport has grown, because like when I was little, I mean, no one really watched softball unless you were a softball player, and now it's definitely grown a lot bigger. So it's exciting to see, but definitely catches me too.
Sam actually just sent me the poll from that day, Sam, and it was 72% Alabama and 28% us.
Can you send it to me? I want to put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
I can't with the video.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm dumb. But yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember that game from 2020, and I think we went up by like 8 runs, or they went up by like 8 runs or something. And I remember everybody was like a little nervous. We were like, we don't want to be run rolled, it was like opening weekend or something. And then we ended up coming back to win it, and it was so exciting, like such an amazing game. And then when we played Alabama for game 2 at the World Series, we went up by 8 runs, and we all kind of exhaled, and then they started coming back, and I was like, no, they're not getting revenge now. But we were able to hold on, but I was so nervous because I was like, this can't be like, I feel like sports always like go around, come around, so I was so nervous, but we held on.
You guys talked about the in Oklahoma City, the 2 a.m. game. I will never forget staying up until like 5 o'clock in the morning, like watching us win that, and then like napping until noon, and everybody being like, "Don't you have responsibility?" And I was like, "Nah, not really." Like it is what it is. But won't forget that. They made some changes. They expanded it out a little bit, which is cool to see. I also love so a couple of just thoughts or kind of points that I want to make, and we'll kind of move past some of this, but I love that they've expanded it out to make it a little bit more fair, right? Like the Men's World Series has always been super advantageous for that, and there's been a lot of rest. I love that they've done that with the women's game. And then I think Devyn and I even chatted before, like when we were talking about some of this with some of the big names, and unfortunately us going down early too. The World Series didn't draw the numbers that it did the year before, but it still absolutely crushed. Yeah, I was trying to talk over this. Don't worry, it gets better.
Yeah, don't worry, we win.
Spoiler alert. But it definitely it definitely still crushed like the Men's World Series. Not that it's a competition or whatever, but just the support for softball in general, the changes that were made for the women's series and everything, like just thoughts around that, and then we'll talk about that home run.
I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I just think, it sucks that like things like that happen to us has to happen to change it, but that's how it is. And they got an off day this year, and had a lot more time of rest, which was awesome. Because I remember, I mean, I speak for myself here, but I think I speak for my teammates. Like it was just the longest like week of like our lives, being the most fun, hands down. But just like everything, how it happened, losing the first game, the comebacks, the 2 a.m. game, everything. Like it was just the longest week of our lives. And, I don't think the boys feel like that when they go to Omaha. I think they probably feel a little pampered and happy and, just stuff like that. And it was, we were happy and like had so much fun, but it's just awesome that they get those opportunities now and, get rest and everything.
Okay, so 3 of you were on the field when this happened. Obviously, Kat, you're in the box, but what's your immediate thought when that ball leaves that bat? You just know that it's gone. I wouldn't ask about this if we lost this game. I probably wouldn't show this if we lost this game. But what's your immediate thought when that home run is? And we'll go all the way around the quarter because like it's early in the game, but you're also on the road against a top 5 team, and other than like this is a family show, so let's keep it clean. But what's the first thing that passes through your mind when that ball leaves the yard?
My first thought was, I think I was in the bullpen at the time, and I was like, no. But it was inning 1, and I think that already at this point in the season, we had shown that we can like come back from a deficit. Yeah. So, it's a bit of a blow, but nothing crazy. First inning, we knew we would chip away eventually.
Yeah, I agree. I think like having it happen in the first inning, obviously, like that set the tone for them. But I think just trying to, I remember being out for the season go out, and I think I went to JJ and I was like, that sucks, but we have 6 more innings to go. Like, just kind of trying to chip away at the lead, stop the bleeding for the next 2 outs, and then try to get back in and make some adjustments off Lexi. So
I think every inning Mudge comes in and high fives and says, a lot of game left, a lot of game left.
If it's the 6th inning, I'm still saying a lot of game left, which you just never know. So it's always a good reminder.
That is awesome.
I think Sydney and I, like, you can see it when coaches like come out, or no, when we go in the circle, we just like laugh, like we just like laugh at each other. Like it is what it is. I trust in. We all trust Danielle. Like it's gonna happen.
Sure.
I think we like knew our identity early, like Kat said, and we're like, all right, like good pitching. We're gonna come back. We're gonna scrap. We're gonna do what we ever have to do. But that's how Sydney and I deal with those things.
Yeah, I think we too, like, we knew we were going to make the adjustments because of how many times we have seen their pitching in the past 2 years. I think just playing them in the World Series 2 games, we saw all their pitching. So I think we were definitely confident. We just had to kind of click for us. So I knew we weren't like too worried. And like Dev said, by that time in the season, we had really shown that we could come back from games. So we just had to kind of wait, stay in the process of our bats, and chip away.
Yeah, and like you said, props to Danielle. Goes out and gets the next 2 outs here to kind of stop it. And it's like you said, it's unfortunate, right? But it is what it is, and you kind of move on and got to keep playing, right? A couple of ground balls that just happened to get through, and then one swing and it's a 3-run game. But she gets out of the inning here, and we move on. All right, I want to talk with you guys before we get too crazy on here into I also love like when there's this feels like a movie when like there's like something really tragic that happens at the beginning. You're like, okay, well they're not going to end the movie sad, like the movie's going to end happy. So we all still just like cringe though when that happened because it's never fun to watch it. But want to talk to you guys about this and then we'll kind of get into the next inning. I'm gonna save that. No, I'm gonna save it. Let's do this. Plug. Let me give Rising Spear another quick shout out. Again, you can donate to Rising Spear's softball campaign. 100. I could have cut that off to where we didn't have to watch it again. That's on me. But 100% of the donations goes to the team. Kat, you come in here in the second inning. You mentioned you were in the bullpen probably when this happened. What is the I know you didn't start the night thinking you might be in the second inning, right? Like in a best case scenario, you may come out for the 6th or 7th, but is it a little bit of a shift? You love that for one pitch, one out type ratio, but is it a little bit of a switch up or do you have to kind of like rewrap your mind around it going in that early?
Kind of sometimes it is like a really different mentality starting a game versus relieving a game versus closing. But I like remember the scouting before this game, and when we face top opponents, it's not really like I don't think anybody expected like one pitcher to go in and just go the whole game. Like we're super like pitch by committee. So we scouted together, we talked through it all together, and then I was ready to go in. So it worked out because we ended up winning, but we're always ready to go in at any time.
Sid, Dev, when you have a pitcher that comes in that's a little bit same kind of the same question for you, right? Like you have a pitcher that is going to come in and pitch a little bit differently, maybe to contact, maybe whether it's Kat coming in for Danielle coming in for Kat, Emma coming, whoever, right? A pitcher that's coming in, do you have to kind of like rewrap your brain around it too? Just understanding that, okay, now these hitters are going to be pitched differently, or ultimately are you just kind of out there thinking the same thing anyway?
No, I feel like we definitely just plan for different pitchers and their lineups and how we're going to play different ways on different people. But I think a lot of it is trusting what our pitchers can do, and they work hard. And like Pat said, they're pitch by committee, and Coach has a great plan with them. Best pitching coach in the country. So we really trust them and just let them feed us. And I think they did a great job last year, and Pat did a great job in this game for sure.
I think the only thing, like Sid said, like we do it every game. Like we are ready for any of the pitchers. They're different, but like we know what they throw, and we play for their best stuff. But Alabama was short gaming a lot, I think, at this point in the season, and so I would say that is really the big thing that we talked about. And Kat, I would say, is like probably one of the most impressive pitchers with like the way she fields, and it's just personally, like, it's, like, a lot, sometimes, like, be everywhere. And so when Kat's, like, on the mound and she just fields so many, like, short balls, it's just, like, it's so great. And all of our pitchers are great at it, but, Kat definitely takes the crown on that one. So it
Thanks, Deb.
made that part of it a little bit easier, too.
Yeah, I paused here. I don't want to pause too many times because I do want to be done in the hour, but I did pause here to talk about this. I left this in intentionally. So we had a good question on YouTube. If you've got questions for the girls, I will, as long as they're not terrible questions, like I'll put them up here and we can ask. This will be available later. So if you're not tuned in live, it will be available on the channel later. It's on all of our social medias. Everybody shared it. But yeah, it'll be on this channel later. We'll do a couple more games as well. But okay, wanted to talk about this. We'll keep it going. This is unique. This is fun. You talked about other maybe it was Dev or Kaley talking about I think it was Kaley talking about other places you go, not necessarily are cheering against you, but they're kind of cheering for their team. There seems to be more of this in softball than any other sport, where you can genuinely be happy for other people and cheer for them to do well. I thought that was one of the most fun tweets of the year last year, where you guys congratulated Jocelyn Oslo for the home runs that she had hit off of you. Who thought of that? And talk to us about that, Kat.
We all did. We were so excited. And I think that this is the time when they were talking about, like, who's going to pitch to her. Like, she was one home run away. I think she had tied the record. And I think they wanted her to break it in Hawaii. But everybody's like, why wouldn't you pitch to her? And we started talking to her, like, of course we would want to pitch to her. Like, it's, that's just every pitcher at our level, I think, would really want to pitch to her. And I mean, she had gone yard off of all three of us. So once she got the record, we were all kind of like, yeah, we're a part of history. We were in there too.
Yeah.
She hit him off of us. So we just wanted to put out the tweet. And yeah, I mean, Jocelyn's just so good. She's just so impressive. It's crazy. I mean, the number of home runs that she hit is absolutely unreal, but just a lot of respect. And I think that there's a lot of respect throughout the entire sport of softball. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely refreshing to see. And yeah, you talk about that. Like you talk about fans say that all the time. Like, okay, well, we just won't pitch to her. We'll just walk her every single time. But I mean, you're a pitcher and the rest of their lineup is intimidating as well, right? So it's not like you just, don't pitch to her and everybody else is a cakewalk, but you're competitive. You want to win. You want to strike her out, right? Like, so yeah, you're not going to just walk her every single time, right? And so, yeah, fans are kind of crazy with that. I did see though, I don't know that you'd want to be the one that got the home run hit off of her. I saw, I don't know how much you guys see on, again, social media and everything, but I saw Jalen Ramsey like celebrating when Tom Brady unretired, because Jalen then said like, oh, hey, cool, that last touchdown of Tom Brady's career won't be on me. So I thought that was funny and kind of cool. Again, not that you want to walk Jocelyn every time she gets up, but maybe don't want to be the one that she breaks the record against, right? It's better to be a part of history than the history.
Yeah.
Somebody said Kathryn Mudge shirt on in support of this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the different stuff that's going on. We get a little rally going here in the fourth. We skipped over the third inning because I think both teams just go up three up, three down. But let's talk a little NIL stuff. How has NIL changed what you guys have done? It's been in effect just over a year. Anything you guys want to talk about? You want to plug your other NIL stuff? I'm definitely down for that. Sid, you got to enjoy it your last year there. Yeah, let's go around the horn. Whoever wants to take it first can, but let's talk a little how NIL is, changed things a bit.
I think Mudge is our highest paid NIL athlete at Florida State outside of football, right? Yeah, go Mudge.
Is that true? Get it, Mudge.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday. So
all right,
that's
you
super
get to go
cool.
first.
I had no idea. Troy told me, and I was like, "No, you're lying. Like, you there's no way you're making that up." And he told me yesterday, so I had no idea. But I think it's like a super cool opportunity. I think, obviously, I never want to take it for granted because I'm here to play softball, and I love softball. I don't really play for the money, but I think it's an awesome opportunity for college athletes to make a little bit of money because we don't really have time to get jobs on the side of our careers. And I've loved the Mud shirt is from the Garnet and Gold deal, and I've absolutely loved working with Garnet and Gold, being able to work with like hometown type of Tallahassee local businesses has been super cool for me because it feels really personal. And I mean, every time someone would come up with a Mud shirt in Stanza, it was super surreal for me because if you would have told me 3-4 years ago that people would be wearing my shirt, I probably wouldn't have believed you. So definitely super grateful to be able to make a little bit of money, but I've also met so many fans and been able to make connections with different businesses. So I think it's a great opportunity. I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Sid, you can go next. Somebody said, thank you for the birthday cameo for their wife. So yeah, people can log in and request different stuff, but Chuck says thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Chuck. Well, I enjoyed getting my last year just a little bit of money and doing some NIL deals, but I think it's like going to be crazy for the sports and the sport of softball in general because I think, like you were saying earlier, TJ, about the passion and everything within the sport and how supportive athletes are for each other within the sport of softball. I think that comes from just not having a ton of opportunities within the sport early on. So people really falling in love with the sport and playing it. And we love playing just because we love playing, not for money or for going pro or anything like that. Like there hasn't really been much opportunity in this sport. So we really play it for, like pure passion. So to be able to, benefit now off the play that we have played for so long. Just really grateful. I got to benefit for a year, and he's girls are very lucky they get more years of it.
Kat, and then Devyn, you can finish this up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super cool to be playing like during the time when it changes because we get to experience both sides. But I mean, I think it's a great opportunity. I think, like Sid and Mudge said, we don't really do it for the money. We don't really do it for the like any kind of fame. But I think that it has kind of like come up that now we have like a little bit of like celebrity factor, which is really cool. But definitely not something we were used to before. But I don't know. I mean, I think that it's a really cool opportunity, especially for female athletes to like capitalize on our name and our brand and stuff. So yeah, I think that it's been really awesome to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of covered all bases there. I just think, for the sport in general, like Sid said, like it's just going to be a huge growth factor. Softball's grown just so much. I feel like since I've been in college, and then just like before it, like we talk about it a lot. To just like keep growing it, and it's just been really cool to see. And I think it's just going to help it grow, and it's going to help the generations like younger than us, and us starting NIL. Hopefully, it'll we could teach younger generations too, like what's smart. And I think it too, like the cool part about it is it gives you a little bit more like life skills. Like you're making your own money now, taxes, like paying things, all of that stuff too. Is a really great benefit that we might not otherwise get, but it's awesome.
We chip away here just a little bit, and Sid works a great at bat. I think you were down 1-2 in this at bat, and then ended up working a walk. I think Mac ended up scoring just because she had a ground out. Kaley gets the RBI, 3-1 here. Chipping away. What was you guys' confidence level when Sid would come up in a big situation? Not only this year, but going back. I'll let everybody but Sid answer that.
I think I was lucky enough to be on base for some of those moments.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was, there was a time where I think when we were playing like Clemson and Virginia Tech and through the last part of the season, I was on first, and in every clutch moment, she just came up, and it was almost like I just knew I was going to score. There wasn't any like ifs, ands, or buts. And I think it's super cool. I definitely am gonna miss hitting next to her this coming year, but it was a lot of fun just to have that much trust in your teammate, and she's definitely worked hard to be ready for those moments. So it was a lot of fun to see her shine and just be super comfortable. I think it calmed the rest of the team as well to see her not try to do too much or put too much pressure on herself. So just kind of feels like she always came up clutch.
Coach Oz speaking here a minute. Maybe there's a good time to transition to this. Sorry, I'll cut off. If Dev or Kat want to come back to that later, that's totally fine. But we'll address this. I mean, it's been rumored enough, and then obviously we found out that she signed an extension and is staying for a long time. But I don't necessarily talk about the bad side of anything tonight. So not necessarily what you were thinking, like when some of those rumors were flying, but when you got the news, again, you don't have to share with us like how you got it or if there was like a team meeting or anything like that. But when you got the news that that Coach L was coming back, just quick thoughts there, or, some worries maybe quenched for sure.
I mean, I was a little nervous, not gonna lie. When I heard all the rumors, I was totally nervous. But I mean, Coach always talks about how we're her family and stuff, and the way that she told us, I think before the news officially broke or anything, she just sent a message in our group chat and just said like, I'm so happy where I'm at and like wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and she loves us and we're her family. And definitely an exhale. I was a little nervous, but yeah, very grateful that Coach is coming back.
I think what Coach has built is just like so incredibly unique. And I mean, of course we're going to be worried and everything. And, this is like our family forever, but it's, obviously really awesome that she's coming back. She's just built such a unique like culture to us. And like, I think everyone kind of sees it, and it's just so cool to be a part of it. And, I don't know if you get that other places. I hope I never have to figure that out. You just don't know. And I just think that Obviously we're all like just super excited that we get to, stay together and everything, do this thing, because it's very special.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely in the same boat as Kat. I remember Coach just sending out like the group message to kind of respond like to all the rumors and just kind of clear up the air. And I think that was super awesome for me and just reaffirmed like why she's such a great coach and such a great person, because I think it's super easy to sweep all the rumors under the rug and just be like, oh, like nothing happened, I'm coming back. Like that's all that really matters. But for her to like send out a group message to the team and say, yes, like this is what happened, but you guys have made it so awesome here and built a culture that we want to stay. And I think that was just reaffirmed why I love Florida State so much and why I love being part of the culture here, because again, like Devyn said, I don't know if you get that anywhere else, and for Coach to be so open and transparent about it, but then also like thank us for like being a reason that she wanted to stay was super awesome. So I'm definitely excited to have her here for a few more years.
I asked Michaela this we did a Spaces when you guys won the ACC championship, which, spoiler alert, is another game that we'll watch with you guys coming up here soon, I believe. I did a Spaces, and Michaela jumped in, and it happened like right after. There's a short game somebody was talking about, but it happened like it happened in the last.
Michaela said, leave it, and I went and got it anyways.
It happened the last inning, but is there anything more intimidating than when Kat rips off the face mask on a called third strike to end an inning and walks off the mound? Like I get intimidated watching on like Watch ESPN. It's like what do you guys there on the field? I mean, a little tough for you to see, Kaley, maybe where you are, but what do you guys think when she like that rip of that mask off is the best? Like that's almost better than like a walk-off win to me. Somebody even said that. Here, I always love seeing Kat getting hyped over the cage. Love her passion. So that's what reminded me of that. Michaela said, yeah, sometimes I get intimidated when she's walking towards me like that after ripping it off.
Yeah, I get really hyped sometimes.
All right, we've got some good two plays in a row like that right in front. Just tough plays.
I remember too, y'all kind of talked about it. The girl that hit the double, Woodard, like she had like the game of her life against us. She like had like 3 doubles, like not the game of her life. I don't know her stats, but she just had a really great game against us, and we were all like, all right.
Looking at that play, Sid, like I mean, you like to think you could make every play, and one of the best defensive players to ever play in this conference and certainly for this team. I don't think you could have done anything, right? Like sometimes just a perfect bunt, a perfect hit is just going to beat you at times, right? Like,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That was like the first pitch of the at-bat, and wasn't really thinking swinging. So, to be honest, that was probably a mistake on me. But yeah, I'll take that one. It was definitely my fault. She bunted it really hard, but
no.
These commentators get on me for it. So.
We'll just overtalk them so we don't have to hear it.
They said I should have thrown it to first.
I'm not going to back it up because again I don't want to like mess up the stream or whatever. But I don't know. It would have been a tough play to first because your momentum's kind of going the other way. I don't know. I'll give you a pass for it, but I'm also
we win anyways. So.
I was going to say it's okay.
If you're watching this, if you just tuned in, do us a favor and hit the share button. Got some good numbers in here tonight, so enjoying it. I get the questions from the audience. We'll kind of go through some of them. You see sometimes you see this, like if the camera pans in on it when you're on base. Do you ever talk to any of the basemen, or Deb, if you're playing second, Sid, if you're playing third, do people ever talk with you? And is that conversation ever anything good, or is it just very like surface level?
Yeah, I think they were saying Kaley Tao. I was talking to her because we used to play together on the USA, so I was just saying hi. But if I know them, I'll say hi. But I think that's about the extent of it.
That was a really good catch, Dev, and they never show the replay.
They don't. So
I always you can barely see it, but I remember it being really good.
Well, I remember tweeting about this. looking for credit. But I remember tweeting about this from the pod account like the next day. Like, if this gets through, they're scoring another one, and now it's a 5-1 game, and we had struggled to retire them this inning. And so, like, if it gets to 5-1, they're still up to bat. I don't know where they were in the lineup, but I thought that was absolutely huge to happen. So
She hit the ball really
big
hard.
catch.
I remember it stung my hand so bad. I was like, oh my God, thank God I held on to it.
No doubt.
From studying all those sprays.
Yeah. I mean, they were like really good offensively too. Like we knew we had it in for a good game, and I think is this the inning? Is this the inning that Michaela hits on?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Deb, when that happened, like, did you realize how big of a play it was? You said that she hit it really, really hard for those that lost us on YouTube, but
I mean, yeah, not really. Didn't realize how big of a play because you never know what the final score is gonna be. Just trying to, not obviously let anyone else score because 3 runs is obviously already a big deficit against a really good pitching staff. So just playing for Kat's best pitch and ended up in the right spot.
I think I asked you on the podcast this once, but do you get more hyped making a defensive play like that, or more hyped like hitting a big double that scores a run, or what do you like better?
Well, I think my answer was, I remember it. I was like, my favorite moments, like my hypest moments, are like everyone else's, like when they hit home runs. Like I think you can see Sid and I react when Michaela hits this home run, and then Danny's home runs were my favorite moments, and kind of just whatever way you can help the team is pretty exciting in and of itself. I think offensively this game didn't have a great game, so tried to obviously not take it to defense, and I think making that play was obviously really cool in that atmosphere. But I love like just being a part of the moments. Like I was on base, Michaela, when I was like, Michaela's gonna do something right here. I can just feel it. And then Danny at the World Series, I was like, Danny's gonna hit a home run. Like I just feel it. You just feel it. So then when it happens, when you feel it, or Denai's home run against Florida, Kaley and I were sitting there, and when she took 2 rise balls, we were like, oh yeah. And so just like those moments, like seeing your teammates, like, you know how hard everyone works, and just seeing everyone get their own moment, it's just almost more hype because you got to like talk about it and watch it from the outside. So those are my favorite moments personally, but they're all pretty cool.
Oh. Man. All right. So none other than Sydney coming up here to lead off another inning, another run rally here. So do you remember how you got on base here?
Yeah.
I remember it too. Yeah. Just because I cut it up the other day, but good job,
Did
Deb.
you just say you walked?
Yeah.
Did you? I thought you got the hit.
No, that was in the next one.
Oh, okay.
In the 7th. Yeah.
That Sydney had is like Sydney's like bread and butter, like outside, low pitch, just like takes it the other way. It's like it's so pretty to watch.
Thanks, Devyn.
Did this pitch? No. Was that ball 4? I think that was ball 4 too.
Yeah, possibly.
But anything close, right? Like you can't leave it up to them.
Yeah, no shot.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone in my life work a walk like Sid can. It's very frustrating to throw live. I'm glad it's only at practice, not in games.
Sid, why are you the double? Like, why have you hit so many doubles? Like, why? What is it about doubles with you?
Because I'm not good enough to hit home runs.
Not good enough. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't think that's how any FSU fans would describe you, but I appreciate your humility.
I honestly don't know. You want to know something so weird? So my very first game, in the Florida State jersey, we were at Texas State, and my family came down, and my first hit was a home run and my second hit was a double. And after the game, like T-Will was telling me a good game or something, and he was like, you know what, I think you're gonna hit a lot of doubles this year. Like I just have a feeling we're gap to gap. And then like that year I ended up like going and hitting a lot of doubles, and I was like, how did you know that? Like doubles, why doubles? And he was like, I don't know, I could just tell. So, T-Will knows everything.
So they gave her an error. I don't know. I don't know if she could have made this play either way, but a big hit, a big getting on base there regardless, Dev. I mean, you made the play in the bottom of the fifth, and then, you know, if you don't get on base there, then this doesn't happen, right? And so with 2 outs, find a way to get on. You do. And Michaela was hot at this point, right? Like, did we all kind of, I think everyone kind of sensed that something was coming here, right? Or, you know, what were the thoughts? She was hitting everything out, I feel like, at this point in the year.
I was right next to T-Will, and he said, like, this right here is our best chance to tie this game up. And I was sitting there like, I was so nervous, but it was like surreal when it happened. I think I just like started screaming or something. I was so excited.
I obviously have no idea what's going through her mind right there. Go ahead, Dev.
I just didn't know it was over. I like sprinted for my life around the bases and like past Cam, like he was telling me to stop, and I was like, I'm not stopping. Like I'm gonna make it home. And then obviously I saw after, but it's just so funny.
Michaela was so fun at this point. Like she literally, I think this was her like 10th home run. I think 9th or 10th home run of the season. And I don't even know if we had played. This was like our 21st game or something.
We weren't even halfway.
Yeah.
No.
I think it. Yeah.
It doesn't look like a foul, but
I know, we were all confused.
Oh, because it hit the pole. Yeah. It's a little easier to see
we had
on
to wait
TV.
for him to.
Yeah.
Replay, Dev. We literally go so crazy, me and Devyn. It's so funny.
That's my favorite part of the game to watch is when Michaela runs home and you guys hug her.
She honestly looks so like the pitch before. I'm not going to back it up, but the pitch before, she looks so relaxed, like just chewing her gum. Does not look like a freshman playing out there. Just like, oh yeah, that crowd got quiet, huh?
I think that's what
got a
like,
presence in the box.
Yeah, that's like what makes like Michaela, no matter like her performance or not, like just her like presence is like, I think that was honestly like home runs aside, like hitting aside, like that's what I was so impressed with this year. Like she just was so calm and collected. Unlike us right there.
At that point, I think your celebration is warranted. So, go to the bottom of the 6th. Need a shutdown inning after something like that, right? Like it's right back out there and keep it going. But I don't know. Maybe this is where you rip the mask off or not. But anyway, we'll see. I can't remember. Do you remember how you get this batter out?
No, I don't.
It's a lot more at bats for you than it is for the other girls that only have like 3 or 4 a game. Nope, right to Mac.
Takes it herself, and down the order goes Alabama. Kaley Mudge.
Oh, here we go.
All right, yeah. Mudge, a play that features you tonight. Sorry that I cut all your other plays out.
No, it's okay. I like this at the best. So
Yeah, me too.
I think after the game, I went looking for the highlights or something, and I saw the Bama Twitter thread, so written by like an Alabama person, and I think when they got Mudge out in the first inning, they wrote like, this may not seem big, but she was a huge thorn in our side at the World Series. Like,
I never saw that.
How happy they were that they got you out.
I never knew. So I learned something new every day. It's funny.
That's funny. This was fun. Yeah, this was a fun one because so in the 6th inning, obviously you get the 3-run home run. How did we get to the top of the lineup here? Oh, a couple people got on after. Yeah, that's right. A couple people got on after Michaela. Yeah. And then it was 9-1-2. That makes sense. It's almost like I'm the one that cut this up the other day. Oh, yeah. I was like, how did we get back to the top of the lineup? But yeah, I mean that was huge. Like you know, we didn't score the run there in the 6th when more people reach base after Michaela, but it did kind of let you get back to the top of the lineup. And Mudge, how do you get on base here? You working a walk too?
I go up the middle.
Hit.
I didn't know if you were channeling your inner Sydney or not.
Almost.
Working at AB.
Almost. I don't know if it would have been a ball. I just kind of stuck my bat out there. But I think it was 3-2, but I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was 3-2.
Lexi was pitching a good game. She was she was living like, down and away, and then she would like come in with like a drop curve on us lefties, and she was pretty firm and has a really good changeup. So she was pitching a good game against us too. So to get those like few big hits was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was even up and out of the zone on the pitch to Michaela. Michaela just went up and got it, but then that wasn't. It's not like she left it across the middle or anything like that. I don't know that she meant to go high and outside to her, but yeah, there we go. I think at this point, so I don't know what you guys are thinking in the middle of the game. Maybe it's just like you're focused on the actual play. I think at this point, like we all thought, oh, we just scored 3 in the 6th, and like Mudge is on with less than 2 outs. You've got the heart of the lineup coming up. Like we're about to win this game. Like this is over. Like Cat's on the mound. Like this is done. Like it's over. And you guys are just trying to stay in the moment, but it's got to feel good, like when she gets that hit, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think these next couple, I think the way we do this ends up being pretty weird. You guys talked about she was pitching a pretty good game.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
But you're just fearless on the bases. I love it.
Did he send you there? Did he tell you to go?
No, I went on my own. I guess like when I'm on base, I don't really like realize. Like I guess when I got to third, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm the winning run. Like that was a great base running read. But I feel like I would have done that like inning 1 or inning 7. But being in the outfield, I knew how wet it was. So as soon as she did the outside turn, I was like, oh, I'm going. Like, there's no way she's letting me out. So, but Sid had a great hit like right off the bat, and I was like, this is classic. So.
They did have really nice grass.
They did. I really liked their outfield.
They're like grass, like their field crew, like that was. They had a great, setup. The grass was still like healthy.
Green.
Like Kaley Mudge, you're thinking first to third.
This is when Sid says, "No, I'm really fast."
I remember this.
That's amazing. What did he ask you?
He said, I'm sending you. And I said, don't worry, I'm really fast.
That's amazing. Did you say it kind of jokingly, or was it just like matter of fact?
No, I'm actually really fast.
No, I know you are. But like, I didn't know if you were being like sarcastic with him. Like, I
was
this.
defending him. He forgets, so he wants to stop me sometimes.
Gotcha. That's amazing. They bring in Montana here. And this is kind of where it gets weird, right? I don't think we like had traditional hits here to spoil anything for you guys, but you probably remember. Yeah. What's it like pitching against her? She's obviously like one of the biggest names or playing against her. Sorry, not pitching, but is a little, when you're going against some of these big names like Montana or Jocelyn or just whoever, is it a neat moment? Is it intimidating at all? Like, when she comes out, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely.
Oh, she throws really hard. That was kind of my thought. I was like, oh, just in time. But I mean, she's good. They have a game plan, but we faced her. I think that's really helped. I think that was her 3rd time in just Mudge and I's career. I don't know if you guys played them before, but that's the 3rd time we've seen her. So we knew what we were getting ourselves into, and that always helps, no matter who it is.
Yeah, I think too, like going into the World Series and facing her, we had Lexi first, and so when we faced her, it was actually like our 2nd time playing Bama, and I remember just telling myself like to look at her hip, like when I'm facing some big names, I can tend to get like a really surreal moment. I think it's like super cool to be able to face big names that I grew up watching, but just being able to look at her hip and not look her in the eye has helped me. That's what I did like all World Series, because I was like, I can't look these people in the eye. I've watched them play before, so.
I think too, this situation with Montana coming in, I don't think we were as an offense really like too worried about it because we knew that like less than 2 outs with runners at second and third, we just needed like balls in play because that's kind of like our MO is just putting pressure on the defense, and we just knew we just needed something in the infield, and obviously that happened. So Kaley and Max did a good job of just putting the ball on the ball.
Yeah, and I'm sure they show the replay here, and I probably wouldn't have cut out the go-ahead run. But, yeah, I wonder if she was thinking about coming home with this. I'm not going to ask you to speak for somebody else, but I wonder if that's kind of what caused the confusion. I don't know if she'd have got you or not, to be honest with you.
I think
with it
Mudge
not
was
being a
safe
force.
anyway.
I think I would have been safe. It definitely would have been a closer play, but I was like going, and then as soon as I saw Ali Shipman like not go for the ball, I was like, that definitely made it. So,
Yeah.
I had no idea what had happened.
Oh, this
that one was weird. Yeah, she made a couple, just like right in a row. Do you remember that, Sid? Like, were you thinking like, why'd she throw to first? Okay, let's just get home.
Yeah, because we definitely run that play, and teams know it. But I think maybe they were saying on the commentating that she might not have known the outs. She didn't know really. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think too, like speaking from the defensive side, like it's like hard. Like when someone just goes right off the bat like that, like in the infield, like like A, you can't really pick your head up and look at them because then you might lose the ball, and then B, you have to make like a perfect throw. So, I think, I was just like good by us. Like we worked on that, we try that. It's a hard play. Like no matter whether it looks like it or not, it's a tough play to make, especially on someone like as fast, and even like Sid making decisions so quick to like stop there. Like those are bang bang decisions. So we practice it like we talked about, and it's just hard.
I think especially like grounders to third too. Like you'd never expect someone to go, but
and then you all of a sudden you like see someone passing you, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the bottom of the seventh, 2-run lead. Couple minutes left here in this one. This was a long bottom of the seventh, just to let you know. I hate the camera work there because I would have loved to have seen that play, but I don't know if they show the replay here or not.
I wanted that one so bad. She was totally safe, and I was like, Mac, tell him you got her.
Was replay available here?
I was like, you got her, didn't you? She was totally safe.
Sandercock is pointing, but just the speed of Goodnight beats it out. Freshman in the 9 spot turning over the line.
She's good because she does it all. Like she hits, she bunts, she slaps. And I remember thinking to myself, like just the type of pitches we were throwing her, I was like, maybe I should say like Josie, take a few steps in, and then I didn't, and then we got beat in front, and I was like, oh man, I should have said it.
So, did Coach come out there?
Probably.
Or no?
No, I don't think so. I think that was just us.
What do you guys say in that? Do you just go over, like, I've heard different people say, like, some people go in there and tell a joke, or are you talking more situation in that moment, trying to calm yourself down, or what's that conversation like?
I think
we were probably talking first and third there a little bit just to see what we were going to do because, 2 runs kind of have a little bit of room to play, and probably telling jokes, probably a little bit of both.
I think when Woodard first got on, we were like, that run doesn't matter. Like, we just need outs because we had 2. So that insurance run ended up being huge. But I just remember I was so sure that we were going to win this game. Like, going into the bottom of the 7th, even when they score one in a minute, I was so sure. I was so hyped for it. I think I made that one play where I, like, cut Sid off for no reason. Because I was just so excited. But
this was a... Yeah, they scored. Mm-hmm. They scored 1. Oh, here, yeah.
Oh, okay. I recall.
So this was a long... I've cut this down quite a bit, right? Like, we joined with an out. We joined with somebody on. This was like almost a 20-minute bottom of the 7th inning by the time you get, like, the hits, the walk, the meeting. this was nerve-wracking. And, like, maybe you don't notice that, like, when you're in the moment. Maybe, I'm not saying you're not nervous, but, like, don't understand, like, how much time has really passed because you're just, like, living every second for what – like, I'm watching this, like, getting nervous while I was cutting it up. And I was just like, I can't believe that I just sat here for – like, I sat there for 20 minutes that night watching it. Man, this was a long half of the inning, just to let you guys – all that to say that. But Kat, are you still confident here? You still feel good, even though they have a runner in scoring position, less than 2?
I was just sure of it. Or it's almost one of those moments where you're like, if we were to lose here, man, if I didn't leave it all out on the field, like, it was, like, at peace. Like, it was just such a great game, but I knew we were going to win.
I love it. Want to continue to do this. Want to do these with a couple more as we wind down and wrap up. Again, spoiler alert, I think the good guys take it here. But you can go we got cut off of YouTube. I just checked the numbers on Twitter, and they're actually a little bit higher, so maybe that was a good move. But you can go to any of our social medias, and you can find the link to contribute to Rising Spear softball campaign. The Rising Spear folks have talked to us about we're kind of a pilot here tonight, but we've talked about doing this with, like, every sport. So I think this would be a lot of fun to – I'd like to do this with Trey Cunningham because that'd be a quick episode. But we've done it like 10 seconds. But, yeah, you can donate to the team-specific link.
And a lot of wins.
Yeah. Isn't that – I love watching Trey compete because, like, as nervous as you are, like, for it, it's just it's also, like, done right away. You're like, all right, national champs, no big deal. Where you guys put us through a lot of agony. I'm glad they called that.
It was like, Kat, don't get the ball, turn around. Because I walked all the way over to Michaela.
I mean, she clearly went, but I was a little bit worried about this. Just being in Alabama, I feel like first and third umpires don't like to ring somebody up on a check swing in this moment. So I was nervous there, but it went the right way. But yeah, we'd like to do this with all the sports. So if you can go prove that we did something right tonight. And we had hundreds of people to kind of tune in and see this. So we appreciate the support. There were a lot of comments when we were on YouTube that and here's the winner.
Yay! Yay.
6-5.
I love, too, that we all just kind of strut out of the dugout. Like, of some big wins, you go and you, like, all jump around and hug, but we were like, nah, that's just our business coming in here.
Yeah.
I think we screamed more when Coach said we were getting ice cream at the hotel.
Oh my god, that was so good. It was like such a long road trip, and then this was a really long game, and then we won, and Coach was like ice cream, and we were like, oh my god.
Does ice cream only happen? Yeah, let's talk about this because we've asked her about the coffee walks. So again, we're a food podcast, so that it kind of works well. Is ice cream only a special occasion type thing? Like that's not an coffee's every day, but ice cream's only after big ones.
Coffee is necessary, but ice cream makes all of our recoveries go down. So.
Michaela and I like to go puff ice cream, but kind of our little secret. But they do make the recoveries go down, so they don't like to do like a lot of like big team ice creams on like game days.
Yeah.
Or days.
So I try to find somewhere. Yeah, like once a trip usually.
Yeah.
Like we try to find somewhere. I think it started I don't know if it was going on like before Dev and I were here, but I feel like it started last year, like just being able to get out of the hotel for a little bit because we didn't get to really go and do a lot of things with the COVID protocols. So I think like 2021 season, we would just go for ice cream walks at night because that's all
we would do anything we could to just, like get out.
Yeah.
Fresh air.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for bearing with us with some of the technical difficulties. I'd like to do this for a couple more games. I think we have the Florida game and then the ACC championship kind of tuned in and tuned up for you guys to kind of rewatch some of those. It's the Florida game on the road. So again, Sydney Heroics at the end. What was fun about that was we had just had Dev and Alex had just been on the pod. And we had just asked Alex about her walk-off. Oh, well, yeah, it was at home. Her walk-off home run against Florida. And then here comes Sid like a week later, kind of channeling her inner power. So,
Oh, that was a good one.
yeah, thank you. The dad life has a couple of advantages, but thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you guys for hanging out. Again, appreciate Rising Spirit for helping us put this on. You can donate at the team specific link. You can also go to risingspirit.com and contribute. We appreciate everybody's comments and hanging out and supporting the replay of this. I'll make sure the entire replay does get up on YouTube. So if you missed any part of it, you can go back and watch it. It's YouTube. You can search Double Fries No Slaw. I'll tag it with FSU softball and Alabama and everything else like that. Any parting words? You guys ready to get out of here?
Donate. Yeah. Donate.
It was super fun. I'm super excited for the next few.
Yeah.
Same.
No, you guys are a lot of fun. So thank you guys for hanging out. We will see you guys again soon, and go Noles.
Yeah.
Go Noles.